in textbook.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Dish.
in textbook there is one word called ambiguity. Means
Ambiguous. You
no, ma'am,
must be.
ambiguity.
It's like, can you tell the whole line in which
Yes,
regard it
ma'am.
is? I think you
Ma'am,
must be mentioning for genetic code, Dish.
the topic is transcription unit and the gene.
So in that there is a topic called genetic code. In that it is mentioned genetic code is ambiguous. Ambiguous means it is applicable for everyone. Is it the same? Kindly
Ma'am,
check.
the word is ambiguity. Ambiguity.
Ambiguity, that is the noun. And ambiguous means the adjective. Same thing. It's a property of genetic code. We still didn't study the genetic code bit.
Ma'am, in one more doubt is there.
Yes, 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 Dish.
Ma'am, in template strand, the polarity is 3 dash to 5 dash. So, ma'am, if possible, it is having 5 dash to 3 dash polarity.
Actually, I explained this part to you that actually it is produced from in a direction called 5 prime to 3 prime, because template strand is not the strand whose sequence is getting copied na beta. The strand of that is template strand, its sequence is not at all getting copied. So that strand whose sequence is getting copied is 5 prime to 3 prime only, no? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why they must have used that. I wish to share the same image I shared last time. That coding strand messenger RNA. So if you see that the coding strand is matching with messenger RNA. In this strand, if 5 prime sequence is starting with A, here also it is starting with A. Understood? So we are following the direction of coding strand, not the template strands and others. Is this part clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other students have any doubt? So silence will be considered as there is no doubt, and I will move ahead with the process of transcription. Last day we discussed about the transcription unit. I told you that in DNA it is very important to recognize the correct part of transcription. That means if you look into the DNA, you will feel like it's same old transcription structure like this. How can you identify that where DNA polymerase, or sorry, RNA polymerase needs to bind and needs to go for transcription? It is difficult to decide that, no? Now, it is very important at the same time, the binding of RNA polymerase at correct position is very important. We know how important it is for a protein to have correct sequence, isn't it? We observed in our last chapter that even if there is a single nucleotide change in the sequence of DNA, there can be a havoc and there can be a disease like sickle cell anemia. Okay, so obviously it's very, very important for us to understand that how it is related that RNA should be produced only up to the part of DNA which is coding for a protein. See, if we consider structure of a DNA, I told you while I was describing the structure of DNA, in case of especially in eukaryotes, all parts of DNA is not at all coding for the proteins. There are certain parts which are coding for the proteins, and there are parts which are not at all coding for the proteins. Okay, so consider a situation if this part is the gene part and RNA polymerase need to bind here so that only these parts need to be copied in messenger RNA. What would have been happen if it is binding here and along with this gene part some extra piece which is not at all intentional extra piece is produced in messenger as messenger RNA. Obviously, the protein produced from this sequence and the protein produced from this sequence will be different. And we know for functionability of protein, it is very important to have an appropriate structure. So the first and the most important step is transcription units which will decide the binding of this RNA polymerase into the correct position. Is it understood by all of you? The importance of transcription unit? I guess I am clearly audible
Yes, ma'am.
to you people. Great.
Yes, ma'am.
So the part where the enzyme attached, where the enzyme make itself attached, is known as the promoter site. Okay. So the moment the enzyme is attached to the promoter, we can say the transcription begins, and it is known as initiation of RNA synthesis or initiation of transcription. And this transcription will continue up to the time mRNA is getting produced. So this whole procedure we divided into three parts, same like replication. When we are saying that DNA polymerase is binding, there is creation of bubble binding of SSB protein. We call that part initiation, then elongation and termination. Here also we call it initiation, elongation and termination. Difference is there, DNA is copying DNA and here DNA is copying messenger RNA. So let us have a look into what are the next events that is occurring there. Last day also I discussed that this sequence is called promoter. So there is a -35 and -10 region. What does it mean? Actually in DNA, the part from where the functional gene starts, जहां से समझो आपकी एक्चुअल डीएनए जो कॉपी करना जरूरी है, दैट पार्ट स्टार्ट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल GACC TACC. So this is the gene which you want to be copied. This is known as +1. So anything which is before that is called upstream region. Anything which is after this functional presence of functional genes, or I can say that after this +1 we will call it downstream. Now why we are having number? Why we are having number? Because beta here will be the first nucleotide of DNA. We will count it as +1. उसके पहले वाले न्यूक्लियोटाइड का 0 होगा, then -1, -2. This is the way it will move. Understood this part, upstream and downstream, because we are going to use these words. Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Once this chapter is over, no, we will have one quiz. I want to judge how much you learn actually. Anyways, let's move ahead. So what is this concept of primary transcript. So it is the RNA product which is synthesized in 5' to 3' direction. Now I will come come to the question which was asked by Dish, and will elaborate it in a proper manner. Consider there is a DNA strand. This DNA strand is 3' to 5'. This DNA strand is 5' to 3'. Now messenger RNA is getting produced. What will be the direction of messenger RNA, Dish?
It will be 5' to 3'.
5' to 3'. So now you understood why I am saying that RNA polymerase add base from 5' to 3' direction. It's not adding base in DNA, beta. It is adding base here, no? To create this messenger RNA, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is adding base in which direction?
3' to 5'.
How? कैसे?
मैम बिकॉज वो वही पोलैरिटी होगी ना उसकी टेम्पलेट की.
टेम्पलेट में बेस ऐड कर रहा है वो. Is it adding base in the template? Is it adding base in the template? The polymerase is synthesizing new strand in which direction? That's what my question is. कौन से डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है वो?
5' to 3'.
हाँ.
कैसे मैम?
This is, अरे बाबा कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री नहीं होंगे वो.
अच्छा, ओके, कॉम्प्लीमेंट.
Ah, we need to
Yes, ma'am.
understand this. Messenger RNA will always have sequence of the coding strand or the template strand. Don't forget. तो वो तो basis ऐसे ही ऐड करेगा ना. Consider करो it will add basis like this. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes,
वो
ma'am.
कौन
So
से
it will
डायरेक्शन
be
में बेस ऐड कर रहा है? In which direction it is adding basis?
5' to 3'.
That's it. Template strand is having direction 3' to 5', but RNA polymerase is adding bases from 5' to 3'. Got this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So as I said, the primary transcript will be produced in 5' to 3' end, and actually there is a huge difference here in prokaryotes and monokaryotes, that is eukaryotes. Now I wish to cast light upon a terminology called cistron. So what do we mean by cistron? Cistron is something, it is a part of DNA that can code for a polypeptide chain. So basically, अगर हम एक gene को consider करें, we can call it a cistron. So cistron is the unit of transcription. Now, if I consider in case of prokaryotes, the messenger RNA that is produced in case of prokaryotes is having property of being monocistronic. Monocistronic मतलब, what do we mean by this? That means एक single gene यहाँ present होगा, एक single cistron, एक promoter होगा और एक terminator होगा. Understood? So this is the promoter, this is the terminator sequence. Whereas if you look into eukaryotes, the proteins in eukaryotes are complex one. For example, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin में 4 polypeptide chain होते हैं. So to produce such kind of proteins, it's not enough for them to have a single cistron into it. For example, in many cases, like we can see such kind of things. Whereas consider a situation, it will have cistron number 1 flanked by cistron number 2 and cistron number 3, and all of them have a common promoter and a common terminator gene. So that's why we call say that in prokaryotes it is polycystronic. Okay, another thing I wish to highlight here, if you look into prokaryotic cell, you can see the polyribosomes, polyribosomal structure. So what is this polyribosomal structure? As their messenger RNA has one gene only present, so what they do is basically they actually have one messenger RNA and many ribosomes attached to it. How come many ribosomes? It's very evident to see such kind of structures. How is this possible? Because at the same time, synthesis is occurring into all these ribosomes. How? Consider a situation, this is my first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So messenger RNA will enter from here. It will go to first ribosome, then second, third, fourth, fifth. Messenger RNA ऐसे करते करते then it will come out. So at a time you can produce many protein molecules together. Is this part clear to all of you? The polyribosome and this class?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Yes, beta, which part exactly you want me to repeat? Which part you didn't understand?
Ma'am, polyribosome.
Okay. So in polyribosome, many in like protein synthesis occur in many ribosomes together. Like how to do example? It starts with the ribosome number 1 and then it enters to the ribosome number 2. So by the time it is entering to ribosome number 2, the part which is entering into ribosome number 2 is done. That that part's amino acid chain is produced. ये ऐसे amino acid chains produce करते हुए जाएंगे. Understood? All of them will
Yes,
have separate chains of amino acids. Is this part clear?
yes, ma'am.
So this is the difference in case of prokaryotes and eukaryotes, which is visible. Now, what is this primary transcript that I told you that first nucleotide is added at +1 and upstream and downstream is already shared with you. This is what they mean to say, that transcription start from here, and this is the promoter, and this is the termination site, and this is how they mark upstream and downstream. Now we are going to talk about the bacterial DNA dependent RNA polymerase. So it is also called RNAP. We are going to discuss about E. coli DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Here, like subunits present there are alpha subunit and beta subunit. Apart from alpha subunit and beta subunit, there is another subunit present there, which is called sigma subunit, and there is omega also. Now, what are these subunits doing? Each one of these subunits are single polypeptide chain. All of them will combine to give you this core enzyme structure. Now, you must be having a question कि मैम sigma को अलग से क्यों रखा है? क्योंकि actually alpha and beta is actually responsible for production of RNA. Sigma is actually used only for initiation process. Actually, this sigma of RNA polymerase is responsible for identification of the promoter. Once promoter is identified, first nucleotide is added, the RNA polymerase will no longer require the sigma factor and it will come out. Omega is responsible for giving energy and alpha is acting as a clamp through which it is holding the DNA. So it is a metalloenzyme. Why metalloenzyme? Because it actually have metals present in them. Okay. Now it contains two zinc molecules, and basically there is a sigma factor. I told you already. In case of eukaryotes, beta, the process is not this much simple. You know, the size of eukaryotic chromosome is big. The DNA is bigger in size, and the expression of gene and structure of gene is comparatively complex. So their transcription is not that much easy. Same thing was there for replication. Mostly जो replication process आपको पढ़ाया गया है, that is prokaryotic replication. In case of transcription of eukaryotes, there are various factors. जैसे prokaryotes में sigma factor रहते हैं and the subunits of RNA polymerase is there. यहाँ पे in case of eukaryotes, there are transcription factors. They actually control the binding of RNA polymerase to the DNA and also the termination. Is it clear the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes in terms of transcription factors and sigma factors? Class? I guess you people
Yes,
can hear
ma'am.
me. I am only hearing one yes, ma'am. Don't you think I deserve some more enthusiasm from you people?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you have to just give a trouble to your left hand or right hand and unmute yourself and say yes. Great. So anyways, let me go back and tell you. So these are different RNA polymerases. Each one of them are having their own function. For example, RNA polymerase 1 is responsible for production of rRNA. We already talked about different types of RNA, isn't it? Then there is miRNA, there is tRNA and snRNA. They are produced by RNA polymerase 2 and 3. Now, in prokaryotic transcription, I told you majorly we are going to study this because eukaryotes, it's very complicated. You may be studying in BSc, MSc. So, in initiation, elongation, and termination are the 3 steps. So this is actually the whole process of transcription. You can see, I wish to give you a highlight over here. The promoter sequence, RNA polymerase is coming into picture and binding with the promoter. The moment it is binding, actually the DNA strand is unwind to create a bubble. Okay, now there will be initiation of RNA synthesis. As you can see, the red part is messenger RNA on the process. Slowly and gradually, this RNA polymerase will move in a downstream direction. ऐसे वो आगे बढ़ता जाएगा, and the RNA produced will start getting elongated. Once it is reaching to the termination signal, it will get dissociated from the DNA, and we will have the RNA transcript ready. So this is the whole procedure in a like look, but we will see about individual step one by one. So in initiation of transcription, there is a pre-initiation complex or PIC in picture. So what happens here is the binding of RNA polymerase into the promoter region. As I told you, sigma factor is a very important factor and it will help in the identification of promoter. Then, for example, in case of bacteria, there are presence of Trimbo box or Tata box at this 8 to 10 nucleotide region. मतलब ये यहाँ से अगर हमारा ट्रांसक्रिप्शन स्टार्ट करना है, जीन यहाँ स्टार्ट हो रहा है, which is having number +1. इससे 10 या 8 न्यूक्लियोटाइड पहले एक सीक्वेंस रहती है, that is called Tata box or Trimbo box, and there is a sequence at 35 minus 35, which is generally having this type of region. These two are identification part for the sigma factor or RNA polymerase. उसको कैसे पता चलेगा कि कौन सा प्रोमोटर है? How will it know? Mainly by sequence of these two and their presence in like the distance between them, that is also fixed, that is 17 base pair, is a helpful signal for RNA polymerase to diagnose the promoter. Okay, now once the initiation start, that means RNA polymerase is bound, the first nucleotide will be added to it. It's generally a punin. Okay, now when there is addition of first nucleotide and there will be second nucleotide's attachment, there will be formation of a phosphodiester bond between them. I hope you people didn't forget that how nucleotide bases are attached with each other to create a strand. Can you remember? Class? Which part of deoxyribose sugar is attaching the like in which phosphate is getting attached?
Ma'am, 5th carbon.
Only 5th?
First and 5th carbon.
You forgot the DNA structure and I'm teaching you. I told you that beta, these are the things you need to remember. Otherwise, it is very difficult to make you understand. It is added to the 3 carbon and 5 carbon. That's why we have 3 prime and 5 prime. How can you forget? So anyways, only one person answered. I was expecting more answers from you people. So the RNA polymerase is creating a phosphodiester linkage. That means first ribo sugar and second ribose sugar of second nucleotide, there is creation of a phosphodiester linkage in between. And now, once the 10 to 12 nucleotides have been polymerized, matlab 10 to 20 nucleotides are there. Now the RNA polymerase is settled, and the sigma factor will get dissociated, and it's moving away towards the structural gene. Then we can say that the initiation is over, and now we are moving towards a elongation state. So you can see here, if this is the gene which is to be transcribed, it start a bit early from the gene. Gene अगर ये pink वाला हिस्सा है, इससे थोड़ा पहले से ये start होता है. And then this is the RNA polymerase after 10 to 20 nucleotide addition and creation of a transient mRNA. We can say that the elongation will start. Is the concept of initiation clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's move ahead. To the elongation process. Here, actually, there will be unwinding of the DNA further, and topoisomerase is the functional part which is responsible for releasing the stress, and following base pairing rule, the elongation process will continue. That means one by one, there will be addition of nitrogenous bases, as you can see there. So this is how the elongation process will go ahead. The moment the chain length of messenger RNA is increased, so what will happen, beta? Generally, it will get detached from the DNA. इसके जो initial part है, the part which is still ongoing, in which the synthesis is ongoing, is attached with the DNA. Rest part will come out as a tail, and this way NTPs are getting attached. जिस part का synthesis हो गया है, that will rewinding, and the part which is yet to be synthesized is unwinding. So it takes so much time to speak about these changes, but let me tell you, in fraction of second, this procedure takes place. Now let us talk about the termination of transcription. How actually the process of transcription stops. Here, once again, I must tell you that transcription stoppage is also a very important part. कंसिडर करो, अगर आरएनए पॉलीमरेज पहले जीन सिंथेसाइज होने से पहले ही डिसोसिएटेड हो गया, सो जीन विल बी स्मॉलर इन साइज, देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम. इजंट इट? यस और नो?
मैम आपने क्या बोला, समझ नहीं आया.
कंसिडर योर जीन इज ऑफ दिस मच लेंथ. ओके, so if this is the termination of transcription, this is the size of gene, and this part is not synthesized. Your mRNA is synthesized only up to this. Do you think that gene can produce functional protein?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so same I wish to say that termination, like initiation, is also a very important factor. So in termination, two types are there. Obviously, in prokaryotes, this is this simple. In eukaryote, it is far more complicated. There is a factor called rho factor, symbolized by this P. This rho factor will go hand in hand with the RNA polymerase. So what happens is, it is actually Rho is a ATP dependent helicase. Helicase means it is a specialized protein which can do what? Which can unwind the DNA strands. So, are you getting what I am saying? Am I audible to you, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what is the function of helicase?
To unwind.
To unwind. So, in this case, what it will unwind? क्योंकि replication के जो bubble है, the one unwinding of DNA strand is already going on. So, it will unwind DNA and RNA. Understood? Got it, beta? It will unwind the newly synthesized messenger RNA from the DNA. And once the newly synthesized messenger RNA is separated from the DNA template, obviously the production procedure will be stopped. Yes or no? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is what is the function of rho factor. Rho factor will go hand in hand with the messenger RNA. And once it is unwinding this messenger RNA, that means it is separating, it is breaking the bond. These are the bonds which are present between messenger RNA and DNA. It will break these bonds and separate it out. So you will have stoppage of the transcription. Second termination of transcription is related to row independent termination. In that, what will happen? Generally, there is formation of a hairpin structure. That means what? Generally, it is like observed, and it is a trend in DNA that template जो भी है आपका, इसकी जब जीन की एंड हो जाती है, कंसिडर दिस मच पार्ट इज द जीन और सिस्ट्रॉन, इसके बाद की रीजियन में देयर आर सीक्वेंसेस लाइक GATAC. So what will happen? The messenger RNA that will be produced here will have this much structure, and then it will have a hairpin loop like this. Why? Because this GAU and AUG is complementary. Understood? Yes or no? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
As soon as this part is having bonds in between, this messenger RNA can no longer bind with the template DNA. क्योंकि आपको अगर सिंथेसिस करनी है, then the template DNA and messenger RNA should have a bond between them, no? पीछे का messenger RNA भले सेपरेट होके निकल जाए, जहां ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हो रहा है वहां पे there should be a bond. As soon as messenger RNA is creating a loop and it is creating bond amongst itself, it will get detached from the template, and gene production, that is copying of the gene, is stopped. So this is how the termination takes place. Is this part clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will now look into the other things, that In prokaryotes, the process is very simple. It is described here how the pin is there, and due to creation of pin, RNA polymerase is getting detached from DNA. The same thing I explained. After termination, now messenger RNA is separate. In prokaryotes, as like no barrier is there, because they don't have nuclear membrane, it can directly go to the ribosome. In eukaryotes, it come across the nuclear membrane, pass through it, the pores in nuclear membrane, and moves out to the ribosome. But is it this much simple? There are other things in eukaryotes and prokaryotes which are different. I wish all of you to look into it. I will display slides one by one. So can you see the location is different? Then in eukaryotes, you can see how it is different in prokaryotes versus eukaryotes. Then genome size, as it is much larger in eukaryotes, so they require specificity for transcription. That's why in like prokaryotes it is polycistronic, and in case of eukaryotes it is monocistronic. Now chromatin structure, chromatin reticulum is further very much coiled. You know, we studied already the histone proteins, no? Whereas in prokaryotes it is not that much coiled, so unwinding is not that much problematic in case of prokaryotes. In our case of RNA polymerase, as it is said that it is very simple one, and 3 RNA polymerases are there. Their factors are responsible for prokaryotes, but in eukaryotes it's not that much simple. Each class of RNA polymerase will recognize each class of cell. For example, large ribosomal RNAs are produced by this. Then precursors of messenger RNA are produced by this, and so on. So this one is for prokaryotes, okay? Do not get confused. They will require separate types of RNA polymerase to recognize particular type of gene in eukaryotes, but in prokaryotes it is the same. I described this to you earlier also. So promoter region of eukaryotes is more complex, but in case of eukaryotes it is very easy. We will learn after this the concept of lac operon, that is lactose operon, and there you will be able to understand how gene expression is to be controlled. Okay, I am not going towards that because we need to take a few classes on gene expression also. So Tata box and GC rate sequence, and these are the things which are there in case of prokaryotes, but in eukaryotes it is very much different than the prokaryotes. So in case of prokaryotes, this is the situation of prokaryotes. They have regulatory element and proximal element. Regulatory elements are regulating the production of gene. देखो, do you think हमारी बॉडी में हर एक जीन हमेशा चाहिए होता है? Do you think that we require all types of genes always? Can you tell me some characters which we like have whenever we are in a specific situation? Any example I am expecting from you? Chalo, I will give you more hint. Are we aerobic organisms or anaerobic organisms? Class? Acha, Yesha is saying. So, Mahi, do you agree with Yesha? As usual, silence. Anyways, so Yesha, you are correct. We are aerobic. Do you think we have anaerobic respiration anytime in our body? Someone else other than Yesha, if you can speak. Anyone else know? Do we have anaerobic respiration? Yes, Dish.
No, ma'am, we don't have anaerobic because it is present unicellular. That's why.
Where?
Ma'am, in unicellular protozoans,
No.
bacteria.
I am talking about us. I am talking about human being. Do we have anaerobic respiration in our body at any part or any
No, ma'am.
condition? You are wrong. You must have studied this in grade 11 as well as grade 10 also. We don't have anaerobic respiration, lactic acid production in our muscle if we are having too much exertion of muscle. Don't you think we have that? Yes or no? Class? Have you ever heard it?
Yes,
Lactic
ma'am.
acid produced होता है.
Size we
So that is anaerobic respiration only, no? But do you think these enzymes required for anaerobic respiration will be always active in our body? Don't you think it will be a wastage of energy? Consider करो मेरी बॉडी के मसल ने बहुत ज्यादा दौड़ा. आप देखना अगर दौड़ते हो एक टाइम पे आके पैर में खिंचाव महसूस होता है और फिर आप दौड़ नहीं सकते हो, आपके मसल्स अकड़ जाते हैं. That is called muscle cramp. That thing is called muscle cramp. तो आपके मसल कब क्रैम्प होते हैं? जब आपके मसल में बहुत सारा लैक्टिक एसिड प्रोड्यूस होता है. क्यों होता है? आप इतने फास्ट भाग रहे हो कि आपकी जो बॉडी की सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम है वो ऑक्सीजन की पहुंचाने की कोशिश तो कर रही है बट पूरा करके पहुंचा नहीं पा रही. तो व्हाट विल हैपन? व्हाट इज द सेकंड ऑप्शन? वी विल हैव फर्मेंटेशन. Fermentation will be requiring specialized enzyme. Do you think our body should produce such kind of enzymes throughout the time, even when we are not having any such condition? Do you think it is a correct idea?
No, ma'am.
That will be wastage क्योंकि आप produce करके रखोगे और आपकी मसल ने ऐसा कोई काम किया नहीं कि क्रैम्प हुआ. So it will be wastage. So there are genes in our body which are switch on always. For example, genes for aerobic respiration. उसके जो enzymes होते हैं, we will be requiring them 24 hours, 365 days. So they will be always getting expressed, and proteins and enzymes are producing from them. But what about the other genes which are not required in always situation? Their genes get turned on and turn on. जैसे हमें घर पे जब फैन चाहिए तब हम फैन स्विच ऑन करते हैं, जब फैन नहीं चाहिए तब फैन को स्विच ऑफ करके रख देते हैं, है ना? टू सेव द एनर्जी. सेम वे. तो रेगुलेटरी एलिमेंट्स जो होते हैं वो रेगुलेट करते हैं कि कब जीन एक्सप्रेस होगा, कब जीन एक्सप्रेस नहीं होगा. एंड दिस रेगुलेशन इज क्वाइट सिंपल इन केस ऑफ प्रोकैरियोट्स. आप देख सकते हैं वेरी सिंपल. प्रोमोटर के प्रॉक्सिमल रीजियन एंड रेगुलेटर डन. बट इन यूकैरियोट्स इट इज वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. अगर कोडिंग रीजियन है उसके सामने कितनी सारी तो आपकी चीजें हैं. Then there is presence of regulator, there is presence of enhancer and repressor gene. So just to give you an idea how it is different. Okay. So in prokaryotes, it's very difficult for RNA polymer is simple to identify the sequence. I told you who is Helping in prokaryotes, sigma factor. In eukaryotes, there are transcription binding proteins and transcription activation factors there. And they are also called transcription factor double ID. They are responsible for recognition of the promoter sequence and they help in the binding of RNA polymerase to the promoter region. ठीक है, चलो मुझे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना है आप सबको। क्यों प्रोमोटर की जरूरत है? क्या प्रॉब्लम है अगर आरएनए पॉलीमरेज डायरेक्टली इस पे बाइंड हो जाए, डायरेक्टली आपके डीएनए में जहां से सिंथेसिस करनी है वहां से बाइंड हो जाए? व्हाट प्रॉब्लम इट विल फेस? आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग? आई होप I am asking you a simple question that if our gene is starting from this point, promoter will be present over here, RNA polymerase will bind here. Why it is not binding here? Can you tell me? Class? Why it is not binding directly to this sequence? Why it is binding in promoter region? Class, I am waiting for the answer. No one, Dish?
No idea.
बिकॉज बेटा समझो, आप कभी किसी पेपर को कट करते हो, आपको अगर एक फ्रेम को कट करना है, क्या आप उस फ्रेम के ऊपर कट करते हो? यू ऑलवेज स्टार्ट बाय कीपिंग अ मार्जिन, नो? whenever you are pasting something you keep a margin. This margin will ensure कि आपकी जो ओरिजिनल चीज है उसको हैम्पर ना हो. That's why it is binding before that, so that it can precisely add up bases like this. Understood? Our biological system is very much perfect. It ensures such kind of things. So now let's talk about the enhancers and repressors. Basically, enhancers are the elements or things. Enhancers or silencer are two types of things. Repressor repress the expression of genes. That means they will like make sure if messenger RNA production come home, so that the active protein or polypeptide chain should not be produced. And enhancer is having opposite function. It will make sure के enhancer की वजह से enhance हो जाए. It should be increasing in their function. Apart from that, there are certain things. Upstream promoter, there may be some hormones or peptide factors or some retinoic acid. These are the things which are in coordination with the factor to act as enhancer or silencer. I will give one example. याद है हमने एक फ्लो चार्ट पढ़ा था for control of spermatogenesis and control of oogenesis. Can you remember? हमने पढ़ा था चैप्टर नंबर 3 है ना? उसमें देखो हमने बोल दिया था कि अगर GnRH यानी गोनाडोट्रोफिन रिलीजिंग हॉर्मोन्स सिक्रीट होता है, then that releasing hormone will bind to something. For example, gonadotrophin releasing hormone अगर pituitary release कर रहा है, तो that will bind with the consider करो the testicular cells. So there will be production of testosterone, and testosterone will enhance the activity of production of sperm and ovum, or it will enhance the male character of an organism. सिमिलर थिंग हम बोल सकते हैं कि ये GnRH मतलब क्या, एक हार्मोन है ना. So this GnRH hormone will act as an enhancer of the gene of testosterone. I am repeating the sentence so that it will be very easy for you to understand. हमने देखा था कि GnRH जो होता है, ये जाके अगर कौन टेस्टोस्टेरॉन सिक्रीट करता है टेस्टिस में, which part secrete testosterone? Class? Don't give me heart attack. No one knows which part of testes produce testosterone. Shyama, Kausha? Yes, Dish, I like.
Leydig cells.
So interstitial cells are produced. So this GnRH will go to a interstitial cell, and there will be gene for testosterone, and this gene will be expressed to produce testosterone. So you can say that this GnRH can act as an enhancer to promote the expression of this gene. So this is how like gene expression is controlled by the presence of enhancers and the repressors. Okay. Next important part that I wish to say is that is not all. In case of transcription, there are post-transcriptional modification. But before we go for the post-transcriptional modification, I wish all of you to look into a video of transcription. It's not that much detailed the way we learn, obviously, but you can say that it is up to the mark, some way expressing about the transcription. Once this transcription is done, okay, in prokaryotes it is done, it is ready to go to the ribosome, and it will reach there, and the process will be starting. The next process, that is translation, will be starting. But in case of eukaryotes, it is not this simple. Why? You need to cross through the nuclear membrane. In between, there may be various endonucleases and exonucleases. जो आरएनए की पीस मिलते हुए उसको खाने के लिए मजबूर होंगे. So what will happen? There will be addition. Three things. These are called post-transcriptional modification. Once again, I am repeating, this occur only in case of whom? Only in case of eukaryotes. In prokaryotes, such modification is not required. So there is addition of a poly-A-tail and a cap, 5-methyl guanosine cap. So that means if this is the RNA, there will be presence of cap here, and at the end there will be a tail which has only A. This part is not at all coding for any protein. It is there for the protection of messenger RNA. ताकि कोई भी DNA, RNA digesting enzyme such as exonuclease will not digest. Apart from that, there will be another thing that occur in case of eukaryotes, that is called splicing. Splicing means, I told you that in case of eukaryotes, too many DNA pieces are there which are junked. They do not code for protein. They actually not code for any kind of protein. So what we need to do? We need to remove those parts which are not coding for protein. Otherwise, the protein product produced will be a defaulty one. So splicing is the process in which the part of DNA which is not coding for a protein is removed to yield a messenger RNA which is having only the gene that is responsible for the production of polypeptide chain. Okay, so let me play the video of transcription. It will clear your idea, but we will be requiring further discussion on splicing. Splicing is a separate topic I am going to discuss in our next lecture. Please look into the video.
Hey everyone, quick biochemistry basics here. Let's talk about eukaryotic transcription. The enzyme required for the process of transcription is the RNA polymerase. The prokaryotes have only one RNA polymerase enzyme, while the eukaryotes have three RNA polymerase enzymes. RNA polymerase II is a major polymerase enzyme involved in the transcription of mRNA in eukaryotes. The RNA polymerase II, along with other proteins known as the transcription factors, are required for the initiation of transcription. The transcription factors are also known as general transcription factors. Let's see how the transcription factors are designated. The initial two letters are written as TF, which stands for transcription factor. The 2 indicates that it's a transcription factor for RNA polymerase II. The letter next to 2 can be A, B, D, E, F, and H, depending on the function of transcription factor.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because there are so many transcription factors involved in eukaryotic transcription, it's easy to memorize them with the help of mnemonics. For example, the mnemonics of TF2A is apple, TF2B is ball, TF2D is dog, TF2E is elephant, TF2F is fan, TF2H is helicopter. Let's see function of each of them. In the first step of initiation of transcription, the transcription factor EF2D binds the TATA element in the promoter. The eukaryotic promoter is about 40 nucleotides long and located upstream and downstream of the transcription start site. About 30 nucleotides upstream to the start site, there is an AT-rich sequence known as the TATA box or the TATA element. TF2D has a protein called TBP which binds TATA sequence. TBP is also known as TATA binding protein. Once TBP binds TATA sequence, it bends the DNA by 80 degrees. This bending of DNA further helps in the binding of other transcription factors. This includes TF2A and TF2B. TF2A helps in stabilizing the binding of TF2D with the promoter. TF2B interacts with TBP and the promoter region downstream to the TATA sequence. TF2B helps in the recruitment of RNA polymerase II on the promoter. Now, the RNA polymerase cannot bind the promoter on its own. A transcription factor TF2F helps RNA polymerase II to bind the promoter. TF2F interacts with TBP and TF2B while recruiting the RNA polymerase. TF2F also prevents RNA polymerase to contact DNA outside the promoter. Next, transcription factor TF2E binds the pre-initiation complex. TF2E helps in the binding of other transcription factor TF2H. TF2H is a very large complex with total 9 subunits. Out of 9, 2 subunits have ATPase activity. Using energy from ATP, it acts like a helicase and melts the promoter. And this finally causes transition from pre-initiation complex to open complex. The remaining 7 subunits of TF2H has a kinase activity. This kinase activity phosphorylates the C-terminal domain or the tail of RNA polymerase II, leading to promoter escape and transcription elongation. So we can remember the events of transcription initiation with the following mnemonics. The dog eats the apple and plays with the football. He gets tired and sits in front of the fan. When he sees an elephant, he runs away in the helicopter. Transcription elongation. Once RNA polymerase have initiated transcription, it shifts in.
So don't you think the codes are funny? You can remember it easily, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I chose this video. I find myself it very interactive and understandable one. That's why. Let's look ahead.
Into elongation phase. The transcription factors that helps in elongation are called elongation factors. There are 2 such elongation factors, TFEB and TF2S. TFEB is recruited to polymerase by transcription activators. TFEB is a kinase protein and phosphorylates serine residues in the C-terminal domain of the polymerase. This phosphorylation stimulates elongation. The other factor involved in elongation is TF2S. Now, the rate at which the RNA polymerase transcribes the DNA is not same at all DNA sequences. At some DNA sequences, the rate of transcription is fast, while at other DNA sequences, it can be slow. TF2S helps to increase the rate of transcription at the region where the rate of transcription becomes slow. It also does not allow RNA polymerase to pause and encourages to move on. 5' capping. As the RNA polymerase starts elongation, the mRNA starts forming. The formation of mRNA occurs in 5' to 3' direction. The first RNA processing event that occurs during elongation is the 5' capping. During this process, the terminal gamma phosphate of the nucleotide is removed by the enzyme RNA triphosphatase. In the next step, guanyl transferase enzyme carries out reaction between beta phosphate of the first nucleotide.
Do you wish to continue or should we see the next videos in our next lecture? Class?
Ma'am, we can continue.
Yes, I think it is like it will take 2-3 more minutes.
Nucleotide and alpha phosphate of GTP. Once guanine is attached, methyl transferase enzyme attaches a methyl group to the guanine nucleotide. This structure is called 5' cap and it helps in the recruitment of mRNA on the ribosome for the initiation of translation. Termination of transcription. When the RNA polymerase reaches the end of the gene, the C-terminal domain of the RNA polymerase interacts with 2 proteins, CSTF and CPSF. The CSTF stands for cleavage stimulation factor and CPSF stands for cleavage and polyadenylation specificity factor. When the end of the gene is transcribed into RNA, these proteins are recruited to the mRNA by the C-terminal domain of RNA polymerase.
Each and every song in the world that you hear is made from these 12 notes. Music.
The cleavage stimulation factor CSTF cleaves the mRNA. Once the mRNA is cleaved, CSTF dissociates. The CPSF then recruits poly-A polymerase, which adds about 200 adenine residues at the 3' end, giving rise to poly-A tail. The poly-A polymerase uses ATP for this purpose. Once poly-A tail is formed, the poly-A binding protein binds the poly-A tail, and during this step, CPSF is released from the mRNA. The poly-A binding protein prevents degradation of poly-A tail.
So that's all about transcription. Next day, we will learn about the post-transcriptional modification. Two of that I hope is clear to you. One is addition of poly-A tail and other is addition of cap at the 5' position of nascent messenger RNA, that is newly produced messenger RNA. Other part, that is splicing, we will take it separately in our next lecture. Anyone any doubt, beta? Class?
No, ma'am.
So I will post the video, look for it and then join the next class so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So then I am ending this meeting. Bye to all of you. Good night.